we initiate chaos theory guarantees that we'll play like lightning shots, sounding like thunder. For every time in the face that it hits us, we're faster. Well, they should know by now. They see the world keeps trying to shake us. It only wakes us the bigger.
Logged on this morning for some peace of mind, but TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat, and someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line, and Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling, my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. If you're still kind of dealing with that post-holiday confusion, it is Tuesday the 6th. So that's where we are in the current timeline. If you're still a bit like, where are we? What day is today? And it's also it's 2026. Now, that's not going to stop us all from writing 2025 on, well, if you still use checks. But, you know, we can at least pretend like we know where we're oriented on the space timeline continuum. Let's see. I understand that. Well, we've got some pretty big news. And, you know, all the crazy things. The world 2026 has decided to take, you know, 2024's clown energy and 2025's cray-cray energy and just run straight forward like Juggernaut from the X-Men. It's just not going to let anything close it down. But in positive news, again, I don't know enough about Iran or the Shah or any of that. I mean, I know a little bit, but mostly I tend to focus on the Iran hostage thing. So I don't know a lot about, you know, all of this, who's better, who's going to be worse. But it does look like Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei is planning to flee to Russia if his security team fails and turns on him, as the regime is being gripped by the most notable unrest that they've encountered in a long time. Now, I know that sounds kind of difficult because every other day it seems like I'm pulling up something about unrest in Iran, but this is one of the more significant outbreaks of, you know, fighting against the actual dictatorship. Now, whether or not the Shah will be any better, I can't tell you. There are a lot of smart people that have actual channels that go into the history of this stuff, not Mo. Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei has reportedly planned to escape to Moscow if his security team falters or turns on him amid ongoing unrest in his country featuring protesters chanting for his death. Now, Khamenei, 86, will catch a flight if his inner circle, including roughly 20 aides and members of his family, if the Islamic Republic Army is actually overwhelmed. Now, I think for him, and look, I'm not a smart person, but he has to be thinking about President Maduro and how the CIA was able to have an asset in his very closer inner rings. So he might also be dealing with that. Now, like I said, this is something to keep an eye on, but go to actual like smartish sources for your ideas and research yourself. But it does look like there is a distinct possibility that this leadership might actually be out by the end of this year or sooner. Now, his son has been nominated heir apparent, and he would also flee. Now, again, we haven't been getting any more of this. This is sort of a contention plan, but his general escape plan does mirror that of the fallen Syrian leader, Bashar al-Assad, who fled to Damascus by plane and landed in Moscow with his family, while the country's opposition forces stormed the nation's capital in December 2024. So they have plotted an exit route out of Tehran should they feel they need to escape, which does include gathering assets, properties abroad, and cash to facilitate their safe passage. Now, the relationship between Iran and Russia has warmed in recent years, namely since Moscow invaded Ukraine. So again, this is very turbulent, but keep an eye on it and, do your own research and figure things out. I'm not your mom. I'm not your history teacher. I don't know whether the Shah of Iran is going to be better. I know that there were problems under his rule as well. And economically and water, they're very, very poor right now. So none of these problems are going to get fixed by an easy toppling of the leader. There's still going to be real and, concrete issues that they're going to have to work with. Tehran is very close to having little to no fresh water supply. So regardless of political change, Iran in the future is still going to have problems. Well, Nicolas Maduro has declared himself a prisoner of war, claiming he was kidnapped by the U.S. as he's pled not guilty in New York City to the federal charges that he was arrested on. Nicolas Maduro, shackled at his feet and wearing an orange prison suit, defiantly claimed that he had been kidnapped during his historic first appearance in a Manhattan court on Monday on narco-terrorism charges, and then declared himself a prisoner of war. Now, upon entering the courtroom, Maduro said Happy New Year in English to the audience before greeting his lawyers. He then almost immediately interrupted his court appearance with his proclamation of innocence. As you do. Oh, please tell me he's going to go pro se. This is why federal trials have to be streamed, because I want to see pro se Nicolas Maduro try to fight against federal lawyers. It's the legal fight of the century. I need to see this. I am president of the Republic of Venezuela. I am here kidnapped. I was captured at my home in Caracas, Venezuela. The 63-year-old fallen despot proclaimed in Spanish before Judge Alvin Hellerstein stopped him. The judge shot back, "Let me interfere. There will be a time and place to go into all of this. Your counsel will be able to make motions at this time. I just want to know one thing. Are you Nicolas Maduro Moros?" The judge asked, and he said, "Yes, I am." Now, he later engaged in a verbal spat with a man in the gallery as the hearing wound down. Now, the man identified himself as 33-year-old Pedro Rojas, who stood up and heckled the ousted tyrant in Spanish, calling him an illegitimate president who will now face real justice. Maduro turned to him and said, "I'm a man of God," and called himself a prisoner of war as he was led out of the courtroom. Now, I think, look, this is not a political channel, and I do have my own political hot takes on this, but I think it's interesting to see the divide about where people are coming down on this. And you have many American people with Venezuelan, cultural history or, have fled from Venezuela that are really happy this happened, and many people that are unhappy that this happened. And I'm trying to research both sides, but I'd rather play in true crime. Politics is too messy. So, when you are researching things, do keep in mind that everyone tends to have a political leaning or slant, and, just be okay. And honestly, the people of Venezuela voted for someone else. Hopefully they make a right choice. Hopefully their country can go back to being what it was or what it can be, with the people working together for a government that they chose. I know that's Pollyanna and probably not going to happen, but we can all hope that something happens like that. Well, the alleged J.D. Vance home vandal is the son of a wealthy doctor, a Democrat donor, who recently changed their name to Julia. The deranged hammer-wielding alleged vandal accused of busting several windows at Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Cincinnati is allegedly the son of a prominent millionaire family and appears to have been going by Julia in the recent weeks. That is not a good haircut for anyone, regardless of gender. Look, Charlize Theron couldn't rock that haircut, and she tried in Monster, and it still looked bad. William DeFore, 26, was arrested early Monday after shattering 4 windows at Vance's home. Now, police said that DeFore was attempting to break into the home around midnight. The Vances, who had moved into the presidential official residence in Washington, D.C. after the inauguration, were at least not home at the time of the vandalism. It's unclear whether DeFore actually identifies as transgender or non-binary. It did appear that he had started posting under the name Julia, but we don't know where. I have no idea. Now, cops listed the suspect's name as William and his gender as male. In his mugshot, he did have a matted, unkempt mullet and kind of a dead-eye stare. Now, DeFore's father is also named William and is a Harvard University graduate. He has a long history as a pediatric urologist in Cincinnati and works as a professor at the Cincinnati College of Medicine. So this does seem to be a fairly affluent kid who that's looking right through you. Yes, mugshot can confirm. You know, it's a really scary place when just because someone has a different idea than you think it's carte blanche to go do something to them. I thought that we would all take a collective step back after Charlie Kirk, but it seems like we're just full bore into stupid. Politics is not that deep. I don't know when it became a full contact sport, but this is ridiculous. Now, the alleged vandal does have a tricky mental health history, including a 2024 sentence for 2 counts of vandalism at a local interior design company. So this is not his first kind of involvement in vandalism. Now, instead of a standard conviction, he was sentenced to 2 years of mandatory health treatment, which, according to court documents, is still ongoing. Well, then it doesn't seem to be helping if he's decided to vandalize something else. Now, in April 2023, he was also charged with trespassing at the UC Health Psychiatry and Emergency Services. He was originally held on a $10,000 bond, but the judge determined he was not mentally competent to stand trial, and the counts were dismissed in a November 8th filing that year. Now he's charged with obstructing official business, criminal damaging or endangering, criminal trespass, vandalism, according to the Hamilton County Jail records. Now his first court appearance is scheduled for today. I'm done. That's why, okay, y'all, I have a plan. Now, it's not well thought out, and you'll have to vote me in for president. But should we get Greenland? Here's what I say. You want to be 27 shades of gender? Go for it. You want to build your socialist utopia? You want to go full communist? You go over to Greenland. We'll send you some supplies. Don't bother us no more. Like, you want to have, trans underwater mermaids run your commune? A-okay. But everyone who wants to complain, everyone who liked The Last Jedi, you're going to Greenland, okay? We love you. We care for you. We'll just love you from afar. And the rest of us who can take a joke, who want to go back to the early 90s, where my favorite show was Family Matter, and I thought Fresh Prince was great, and I didn't see color, and I didn't care if my friends liked boys or girls because it wasn't their personality. It was just, a thing. I mean, that's what I want to go back to. Maybe I'm looking at it with rosy colored glasses, but my childhood was pretty good. I mean, I just love people as people. And if people were jerks, I thought they were jerks, regardless of their color, creed, or orientation. Wasn't it interesting when we, all could just not have HR hall monitors? Well, in an update on the story that I brought you yesterday, it does seem like the police have let out some kind of grainy footage, but footage nonetheless, of a person of interest in the Ohio dentist and his wife, the double homicide. Again, why do we get like Ring doorbell cameras when we got better footage of Bigfoot than on some of these CCD cameras? Why do we have CCD cameras? I figured if Orson Welles was right and we were going to have Big Brother, then at least the camera footage was going to be good. But no, it's grainy and ridiculous. I thought Big Brother would have his shit together, if I'm honest with you. Hell, we are our own Big Brothers. I want a Ring doorbell camera, and if I get quality like this, I'm returning it. Now, police have released a video of a person of interest in the double homicide of beloved Ohio dentist and his wife, who were gunned down in their home last week. Now, in the chilling clip that's been released by the Columbus Police Department on Monday, it shows an individual wearing light pants and a dark hooded coat in a snowy alley near the Wineland Park home of Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique. Now, the person of interest has their head down and their hands in their pockets, and they're strolling about kind of at a calm pace. Now, the Tempes were discovered shot dead on the morning of December 30th and were believed to have been killed sometime between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. that day upstairs in their residence. Now, the couple's 2 children and their golden doodle dog were found unharmed. So that's a miracle in and of itself, but also deeply, deeply sad. And I don't know how you even begin to deal with the trauma and loss that those children are dealing with now. Now, the police have asked anyone with security footage near the couple's home on North 4th Street within that 3-hour window to submit any clips to authorities in hopes of finding a lead on this double homicide. Now, the Columbus Police Department has opened an anonymous portal for people to submit evidence as well, and they claim they have received and continue to receive numerous tips. We want to thank the community for all the tips we've received. We know there are questions and concerns regarding this tragic incident. Detectives are working diligently to solve this case, and we will continue to update you as the investigation progresses. Now, police urge anyone with information about the individual's identity to come forward to authorities. Tepe worked at Athens Dental Depot and was found with multiple gunshot wounds, and Monique had suffered at least one gunshot wound to her chest. Now, the police have been mostly tight-lipped about a possible motive or what could have precipitated this. Now, they were found after coworkers because, the dentist was very, very reliable and rarely ever showed up late. So they were the ones that found them, the coworkers, because they were able to get in the house. Now, thankfully, their 1-year-old son and their 4-year-old daughter and their golden doodle were okay. But I can't imagine. I do hope that we find this human monster and get justice, go through due process. And thank you, Unbalanced Equation, member for 5 months. Thank you. Love the Church of Mo, sending the best wishes to you. Well, thank you. And so you guys have been asking, this is a bit of a tangent, but you guys have been asking about an Amazon wish list, and I finally cobbled it together, and I did put a link in my community section. Now, just like super chats and everything, y'all, I know how expensive everything is. Mr. Mo does grocery shopping, but I did grocery shopping for 12 years. So as Megan Fox always says, breadstick money, yes. Ramen noodle money, no. I am doing just fine, you guys. But I did put some books on there because I realize I am sucktacular to like 11 with members stuff. So I will be revamping the members stuff. I do want to start a book club. I have an Anne Rule book that I was going to start with. It was Small Sacrifices. So that is my plan. I do have a couple things on there. Honestly, y'all, it's a weird thing for me to put things on there when I get money every week for fun money. Mr. Mo is a good budgeter. So in our budget, we kind of have like, weekly a little bit of money that we can play with. So it feels weird when I can go ahead and. So I put a couple things on there. You guys are in no way obligated to buy anything. It's just something you guys have been asking about, and I finally figured it out. But I do plan to start with that book. So Anne Rule, Small Sacrifices, and then just go forward with that. And probably once a month or once every 2 weeks. I don't know. Look, I have very good thoughts at 3 a.m. Whether I flash whether I actually, like how I plan things out is different. Mr. Mo is like, do you ever plan things before you do them? And I'm like, sort of. They don't have a Fort Brooks Lego set yet. I need to make it. I do intend to, Mr. Mo is definitely trying to help me get my crafting stuff up. I will be doing for my first crafting thing, a diamond painting. I may have gotten 2 very expensive diamond painting kits that I haven't opened in the year I bought them. So Mr. Mo is like, you either do these or we're going to give the kits away. And if you want to motivate a crafter to actually get something done, that's how you do that. You say, okay, we're going to get rid of all your craft stuff if you don't. So I have a light board on the way because I had a light board. I had this big, because I bought the diamond kits and I was, past Mo, always thinking future Mo has time. And I'm like, oh, another craft thing. So of course I get all the supplies, all the diamond kits, and then we decide to move my room. And now I don't know where half of my stuff is, but I'm like, fine, we'll do a diamond painting kit and call it a day. Now it's huge. So maybe I can, I'll have to stand up, but I've got my craft table almost done. So we are slowly but surely. I am not just, like teasing you with a craft channel that will never be. I just needed to wait because I don't know if you've done like diamond painting, but the colors are dark and then the letters you need a light board is all I've got to say. Now, on my thing to be a better to be better this year, I did want to share something with you. You guys don't have to follow this. This is just something I would share with you guys. I am getting back into my seated workouts, and honestly, this woman, all of her stuff is free on YouTube. Now, she is eternally and unapologetically peppy. I'm not going to lie to you. She is completely all in all too optimistic and happy. So I usually put on death metal with her. So that's my only thing. But she really does give you a challenging workout, even in a chair. So if you are, getting back on your workout, I'm not going to make you go through it. But it is a very, very good workout if you're trying to get back into something. And I was, really embarrassed that I had to do or go into chair workouts, and I was thinking they were going to be not so hard. She makes them very, very challenging. And she is actually good. And, you want your workout person to be smiley. No. This is the one where youngest, most feral. So yeah, he was watching this and he's like, she's pretty and smiling and you're sweaty and gross. And I was like, look, now I don't look that graceful. I'm pretty sure I looked like a possum having a seizure when I was doing my workout this morning. She looks graceful. Not at all do I ever look like this. But that's who I use, Carolyn Johnson. She's pretty good, but I very much like her. And if you're looking to get back into a workout that will challenge you, but if you have kind of balance issues, and she does show you how to modify things to make it challenging, but not kill you. So if, the, that's part of my, goal, but I figured I'd share it if you were kind of looking for someone or something to start that workout, because I know it's January and we've got, they're already starting to put out swimsuits for some god awful reason. Well, it looks like Texas police have solved the oldest missing persons cold case and has brought closure to the victim's surviving family. Texas police solved the Lone Star State's oldest missing persons case just over 5 decades later, bringing a long-awaited sense of closure to the young victim's older brother. Norman Prater, 16, was reported missing January 16, 1973, after a late night out with his friends in Dallas. He never returned home, and the police never came across any meaningful leads until now. Now, the Dallas Police Department announced Friday that it had positively matched an unidentified teenager killed in a hit-and-run on July 9th, 1973, to Norman. Oh, that's tragic. The teen was killed in a crash on Highway 35 in Rockport, Texas, about 380 miles south of Dallas. Now, authorities in Aransas County and local news were not able to confirm his identity at the time, and the seemingly random death eventually faded, and no one really put the links together. Detective Ryan Dalby, a member of the police department's missing person units, was stunned when a medical examiner in Aransas County reached out to him and flagged the 1973 crash. He said he came across it while reviewing antiquated files and was wondering if there could be a link between the unidentified victim and Norman. I pull up the file and I look at it and I'm like, are you kidding me? Dalby told NBC Dallas Fort Worth. The medical examiner retrieved a full file and the pair helped a forensic analysis to pick out points of reference on the face, which led them to believe there was a high probability that the unidentified person that was found there, killed by the hit and run, was Norman Prater. I'm like looking at the photos side by side and I'm thinking there's a high probability. The detective wasn't going to risk misidentifying the slain teen though, and didn't want to go to the family with this information. He hoped to reach out to Norman's older brother Isaac to fill in the gaps. He answered the phone and he said, "Who is this?" And I said, "I'm Detective Dalby with Dallas, Texas. I've waited 52 years for this phone call. Please tell me you have something." Prater was at the Dallas headquarters the following day. I showed him the recognition software that they used, and he just looked at me and goes, "You can close the case. That's my brother. The case is done." He finally has closure, and closure after 52 years of wondering where his brother was. Now, Dalby told Fox 4 that Isaac was able to trace every detail on his little brother's face, ranging from a scar on his lip he'd gotten from a dog bite to another on his eyebrow that he'd gotten from a fight. Now, it's unclear what Norman was doing during that 6-month stretch between his disappearance and death, or how he got so far from his home. Now, Dalby told the outlet he suspects that Norman may have hitchhiked his way across the state, which was a very popular thing to do in the 1970s. I'm glad that this family has answers, but it's still heartbreaking. Well, in a bit of a palate cleanser, we do have a story that I'm going to start putting in stories that, don't blackpill us, because honestly, we need stories that are good humanity, not dumpster fire humanity. Well, an entire airport took to social media to reunite a lost teddy bear with its owner. A Virginia airport is seeking the public's help in reuniting a missing teddy bear with its owner. Officials at Norfolk International Airport in Virginia have shared a photo of the gingham plaid plushie with a matching bunny slippers. That's from Build-A-Bear. Those things are expensive, and if you got the little accessories, someone loves that bear, is all I got to say. So it has been shared on Facebook, and it was shared on December 30th with a caption, "Can you help me find my owner? I was turned into ORF, lost and found, around 4 p.m. Now, nearly 2,000 people have shared the post, hoping to spread the word. Let's get that stuffy home. Hoping for an update of them being reunited, another replied, and close to 100 people offered suggestions about how to locate the doll's owner, including those who said it resembled one at Build-A-Bear Workshop. If it's a Build-A-Bear and it looks like, you can contact a Build-A-Bear and they have barcodes inside that they can scan to help return it to its owner. It's their Find a Bear program. Hey, I didn't know that. That's a Build-A-Bear. My daughter bought the same one in 2022. Best use of social media ever. So let's hope that, they find the bear and they find the luggage. Of course, people, bitter, evil, hateful people are like, how about y'all stop effing up our luggage, F that teddy bear. Meanwhile, y'all can't find my driver's license that was left in a TSA bin. So, you win some, you lose some. This is why we can't have anything nice. People just bitch about it. Now, I have all the questions, but we need final form Jesus for this story because I am confused. I am confused, and I love nature. I mean, not being out in it, like looking at it from a cabin next to a fire. But I like nature as much as the next person. But this is stretching that.
The G-Keep scroll, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Now, ma'am, considering how Canada's treated ostriches they didn't like, I don't know that anyone's going to go with your stop mowing lawns because it's violence against butterflies. A Canadian woman who believes that mowing grass is violence claims a religious right to butterflies and to stop the government from demolishing her meadow garden. Oh, please let there be a picture. Can confirm. I would expect nothing less from either of these two women, to be honest with you. It is pretty, but I don't think mowing is violence. I could be wrong. Let's get into the article. A Canadian woman with unconventional beliefs about nature and gardening is claiming violation of freedom of expression and religion, trying to stop the city from demolishing her garden. Karen Barnes, her name would be Karen. Okay, let's go with it. Has spent the last 10 years cultivating a naturalized garden in front and back of her home in Burlington, so a city in the Greater Toronto area. Now she spread wildflower seed and allows natural species to spring up and avoids mowing her plants in order to draw life like monarch butterflies. Okay, sure, that seems fine. I like butterflies. I like spiders as long as I don't see them. I'm okay with. Now, Barnes identifies as a aminist, according to an affidavit that she filed as part of the city's case against her, which means she has religious beliefs that identify the personhood in all life forms. Do what now? I mean, I care for a butterfly because they're pretty. I try to be a good steward of my environment because that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know that I understand the personhood of a butterfly. That means that she believes that manicuring her law is an act of violence. It started as a way to implement a natural garden, and then I formed relationships with the plants who grew there, and it felt that it would be sacrilegious to harm them, her affidavit said. Now, for years, the Burlington government has been trying to tame her garden, showing up to her house many times to address neighbors' complaints and even forcibly mowing the lawn on 2 occasions. Now, the city does have bylaws that dictate how, the exterior of properties should be maintained, stating that every owner shall cut all the vegetative growth on their property whenever it exceeds 20 centimeters in height or length. Now, I do think she has a point. The monoculture, and if you like morning news, Styx Hexenhammer is really good at like horticulture stuff, but he does explain that a lot of this grass development that we have in HOAs could be used as garden stuff. Now, not by me. I kill all plants. I don't mean to. I just do. But I can see a point of having different, gardens. If it's not an eyesore, I really don't care. She's paying taxes. I do find it hilarious that mowing her lawn is an act of violence, but crazy lady, don't care. She's not bothering me. Now, since Barn has gone against the bylaws for over a decade now, the Burlington city government has issued a $400,000 fine against her, which the animist is currently fighting in court. Okie dokie. Now, she has created a legal defense fundraiser on the platform Small Change Fund, which is framed as a way to create a precedent to protect Canadians' rights of freedom of expression through gardening. Now, the campaign raised nearly $9,000 of its $30,000 goal as of Monday afternoon. To me, it's really absurd that the city would make me go to court for growing a garden. It's not just about me, it's about the wildlife I'm trying to save. Now, Barnes's defense against the city rests on an exemption to a bylaw for naturalized areas, which are defined as an area of vegetation deliberately planted or cultivated with one or more species of wildflowers, shrubs, annuals, perennials, ornamental grass, or any combination of them that is monitored or maintained by a person. That kind of sounds... Now, I'm guessing they probably... Her type of lawn does attract vermin and stuff. If you aren't taking care of this, those lawns can become a critter attractor. So you can have a butterfly garden and not look like you're homeless. Why can't people just do things logically? Because we're insane and we run on hormones? There we go. I have the same conversation with myself. I'm like, why can't you just be logical? And I'm like, hormones? Now, the animist lawyer has argued that her yard falls under that definition and claims that city officials have not clearly explained or given evidence of how it doesn't. Now, in 2024, Burlington's manager of bylaw enforcement, Adam Palmieri, asked the city supervisor of landscape architecture to join to visit her yard. Now, Pereira's identified 3 species as invasive or aggressive, but simply offered suggestions to maintain them further rather than mandate to remove them. So, I mean, I don't know. Not my Canada, not my problems, but it is interesting to see where the religious rights will end and where city ordinance will go, because I think that there have been indications that governments are willing to concede to certain groups' religious preferences, but not other groups. So it'll be interesting to see if her animist religion is given the same sort of reverence and respect and kind of free pass as other religions. I don't see that happening, but it will be interesting to see what happens. Well, we definitely needed final form Jesus because someone stole Jesus. Now, I have always claimed to be the world's worst Christian, but I didn't steal a baby Jesus from a nativity scene. I still think it's a bit sacrilegious that we, put a light bulb up baby Jesus's butt to have him in those plastic nativity scenes, but I never touched it. Well, hallelujah, it's a miracle. A baby Jesus statue that was kidnapped outside a Long Island government building has been returned. Wandering, where is Jesus? It was the Where's Waldo? I mean, if whoever did this didn't do a Where's Jesus calendar, You missed an opportunity. The baby Jesus statue that was reportedly stolen from a nativity scene has been returned, Suffolk County Police said in a statement on X Saturday. They also post a picture of the nativity scene with baby Jesus back in the manger between two statues of... Okay, maybe it's because Joseph looks like he got busted in a demolition derby. Maybe someone was like, take better care of your statues. Thank you, Kim, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We found baby Jesus. Now, the baby Jesus figurine was abducted from the nativity scene outside of the H. Lee Dennison building in Hoppegaw. Some town. Sometime between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day. Now, Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine and the county's top cop, Kevin Catalina, both pleaded for the statue's return during a press conference and offered forgiveness to the sinner who took it. Now, to steal baby Jesus during Christmas, that's just not cool. And it's definitely not the spirit of Christmas. Well, I guess Cindy Lou Who got to the Grinch, and his heart grew 3 sizes, and then he put the light up baby Jesus back. Who knows? Now, whoever returned the statue would not be questioned, detained, or arrested or charged with any crime as long as they returned the statue. If they bring him back to the building, we'll just accept it. No questions asked. Bring back the Jesus. We won't ask you questions. Just put the baby. Pontius Pilate's like, it's not me. I wash my hands of this. Now, police did search for the figure since its theft was discovered, even using dogs in the search. Okay, but what did you give the dogs to smell in order to hunt for the Jesus? Did you have them sniff the Mary or the Joseph? This story shouldn't be breaking me up so much. I laugh. They missed a golden opportunity. I would have had them there with the pictures. This is why I don't give in to my impulses, because they would be just this bad. Have you seen Jesus? I laugh so hard because, you guys, look, I only want one thing will make me feel like an adult, and I can't have it. Well, I can have it for about 6 months because I've done the math. Just once in my life, in my adult life, I would like to have a really nice, really beautiful nativity scene. Not a little people's nativity scene. Not, a child-proof, like it's $10 because we know someone's going to get decapitated. No, I would like a nice one. I figure with the age differences of my children, I have approximately 6 months at the most a year between like everyone growing up and getting together and then having grandbabies. So I figure I've only got one Christmas, but I'm going to have a really nice nativity set. And then I'm going to pack it away and I'm going to bring back the little people set because I'll have grandbabies. So just once, I would like a nice one where no one gets decapitated. I don't know why that's like my sign that I've become an adult, but that's my sign. So I can't believe that this is why we can't have nice things. Yeah, I did do that. The other hysterical math I did for Mr. Mo, well, it's more hysterical math for Mr. Mo. I looked at him one night and I was like, sweetheart, I've done the math. And he's like, what math? And I was like, it's terrifying. Sit down. And he's like, okay. And I was like, I've done the math and I've timed this out. By the time we get all the children through puberty, I'll be going through menopause. I was like, just when you thought you got away from all the hormones, I'm going to go off. I was like, just when you thought you dodged another bullet, hot flashes. He's like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this. I was like, neither did I. I would like to skip menopause if possible. Thank you so much. My uterus has done all it's going to do. It's done. It's over with. And I think I should get an award. Now, this is not, even though it looks like it's for children, it is not. So obviously, if you have little people in the car.
What's up, you badass kids? Today we're gonna be learning our numbers, and it's gonna be so fun.
Okay, y'all don't know. I went to an inner city public school. I might have seen this song already. This does look like one of my teachers, though. I mean, without the beard.
Ready? Let's go.
1, you got 1 time to try me. 2, then you gon' have to find me. 3, please don't let it get to 3, cause if you do, it's gon' take 4 people to get me off of you. 5.
This, honest to God, was probably played at my school. Yeah, if IPS schools, if anyone knows IPS school, I went to Northwest High School. I was a little out of place. Just a slight bit. But he definitely has some very fun songs. They are not kid appropriate, but I do like to share what I found. I was laughing my behind off with this one.
I say call your crew, cause me and my clique gon' do what we do. 6, you better bring a bat or a brick, cause it's 7 of y'all and 8, 9.
We were Northwest, the Space Pioneers. Do you want to know how many actual students from IPS ended up being astronauts? None. Not once.
10 of us, it's me 11 times, with your 12 baby daddies and 13 kids. 14 evictions and CPS visits, 15 of them to be exact. Your mama got 16 mugshots and 17 ball spots. Please don't get me started on the granny, she only got 18 teeth left.
18 teeth. You know what's sad is I'm like, that's a really cute wig too. I wonder where he got that. Look, I don't know. I think there were, I think when the school actually started, there was already a school that had the pioneers. So they just put space pioneers on there for no reason. This is not Dave Chappelle. Now, his name is Jay. And then I am going to let you guys, I'm going to make this full screen. Jay, and then that is his last name. Nedaj. I am not going to try to pronounce it because, let's be honest, if I phonetically screw any of that up, it's a time bomb. So I'm going to let you guys look at that. But he is definitely hilarious. And he has an ABC song. Sarah Adams sent this to me, and I was busting a gut.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
If this doesn't remind you of En Vogue and, oh gosh, Tony Braxton, these were like the songs TLC, I am going to send it to Shissy.
9, 10, 1, you got 1 time to try me. 2, then you gon'
I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to be my ringtone, but young ferals y'all have one test. It's like I've been too good of a mom, and they're like, you have grace to spare. And I'm like, no, I have one working nerve and y'all are making me lose it.
have to find me. 3, and please don't let it get to 3, cause if you do, it's gonna take 4 people to get me off of you. 5, you better call your crew, cause me and my clique.
So it repeats, but then there's, okay, now I know that I am of German heritage, but I have a question here because we are going to get to what I find most offensive about this because I have questions. Now I need someone to explain my heritage. But I think we figured out why I can't dance. rhythm, but these are our moves. Okay, no. They are not. Those socks. Okay, right here. Or a little further. What the hell? Okay, why do they have this little knot sock on? What is this? My people, my ancestors. Why is he wearing essentially a shin garter? Someone explain this to me. I am still trying to figure out what it is. Why is he wearing it? They're calf warmers, but they lived in Germany. So it was cold and they're just like, you know what? I'm going to take the top of the sock. Screw the bottom part that goes over my foot. I just like this small bit of my shin warmed. I mean, okay. Yeah, but the socks don't go down. Okay, you see what I mean? This is the part of the sock. There is no more sock. How is this going to help do anything? Mr. Mo caught me pausing this like it was the damn Zapruder film. Because I was like, what the hell is this? And why are we, what are my ancestors, what are we doing? We've got like a quarter sock here for no reason. And it doesn't even get the foot. It's just like, I'd like my little bit of shin to be okay. Also, we're cutting wood in the middle of a dance. But if anyone wondered why I can't dance, these are my people. We have half socks. We, do a little bit of lumberjacking during dancing, because who wouldn't? Who would not want to do that? Ooh. And in our final, video, because we all want to be popular. And I figured charisma, how to draw people to you. I'm hoping there's an anti-charisma one that, like, if I don't want to be stuck in conversations, I can just do that. Because something about this face means open up to me about your latest prostate procedure in the bread aisle in Walmart after I don't know you just because I said hi. Yes, it has happened. No, I don't know what to do. This is why I sometimes call those conversations unwilling hostage negotiations, because I never wanted to know about your prostate and you didn't have to tell me about your prostate, but yet here we are both in the bread aisle and I'm just trying to leave. So hopefully there's another video that will help people draw away from you, draw people to other people.
About to watch is extremely powerful, incorporating visual and verbal hypnosis,
Thank
plus
you,
audio and video subliminal suggestions.
I hope you don't have epilepsy. They should have had a warning on this. Also, what in the 1984 screensaver?
I want you to imagine yourself.
It would be helpful if your voice wasn't grating.
Going into the screen, into the screen, into the screen. You project charisma and draw people to you.
Oh, it's a sailboat. I see it. It's giraffe. Actually, this right here probably shows something. That really looks like Pennywise. Let me see if I can... No, I need a different color. I need a green here. Okay, so no, I want green, you stupid butthole. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but right here looks like Pennywise. I'm not sure how any of this is supposed to work on making you calm, because right now I'm trying to make sure I'm not smelling burnt toast. But I am seeing Pennywise, so I don't know what it says about me, but I'm sure Warshat would have a theory.
Every day you become more and more charismatic. You now project charisma and you draw people to you. You have this power and this ability. And all it takes...
How do I turn it off? What's in the box, man? What's in the box? What is this? This was around the time that they thought that you could subliminally lose weight if you listen to certain tones in your sleep. Now, as a chubby 90s kid, I of course tried this, but I tried it my own way by listening to my favorite songs. And like headphones weren't really comfortable back then. No.
Is your willingness to do what you know how to do. You are now very charismatic. And say this word quietly to yourself. Charisma. The word charisma is a conditioned response signal to your...
Yeah, charisma, just whispering it to yourself, I don't think that's like me saying organized, or it's manifesting. This does not work.
subconscious mind, and when you say this word, you will feel more self-confident, friendly, open, and charismatic. You are now fully awake.
MK Ultra or LSD. Poor Uncle Ted.
And alert, and you feel good.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying.
And hello everybody,
No,
welcome back to
that. Well, you guys, that's what we have for this morning. At 10:30, we will be back on the Devin Michaels case. And I've looked at everything. It looks like, get your votes in for the next trial we will be covering. It looks like Brad Leon is winning in the voting. So be sure to, check that out. There were a lot of ones that were kind of kid involved that we didn't hit over the holidays, so we've got those. I will also be starting to research the Corey Richin case because I completely forgot about that, but that is scheduled to start at the end of February. We'll probably, you're right, actually it is 10 because I had it. No, you are right, Wolfram. Thank you for being my mod and reminding me what I'm doing half the time. But that's what I am planning on doing next. So we'll be probably heading over to the Brad Leon case. Now, do beware that he's an absolute dumpster fire human being. So that's kind of Marley was dead to begin with. He definitely, it is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I forgot that Mr. Moe is taking oldest feral boy to a doctor's appointment. So I don't need to give him... Because usually the time gap is actually to give him time to either turn off the power or do something loud construction-y in between streams. So I don't have to do that today. So thank you, mods, for reminding me. And sometimes I remember. But yeah, now for the Corey Richins case, I am definitely going to be treating that as kind of our normal trial thing. There is a lot of background. I'm going to read some articles and do a little bit, but we're going to go into it just like a jury trial because there have been a lot of back and forth. A lot of people have their opinions on it. And I do think that there is something to be said about going into certain trials where a lot of people have made up their mind. Corey Richins, the mother who is alleged to have killed the father of her children and then wrote a grief book. Allegedly, she poisoned him with not street legal pharmaceuticals, I think fentanyl. So that is supposed to start in February. Now, they do have that going for approximately 5 weeks. So it will definitely be a bigger case, but that is the next big trial that we're looking at. And good morning. And then next week we do have the probable cause hearings for both the mother and stepfather, I believe, in the Rebecca Park case. So that is out of Michigan. It is the mother and stepfather who abused their daughter, or biological parents. Basically, they tortured the daughter. She was pregnant and tried to cut the baby out of her. All kind of crazy. That is just at the start. So we will be actually, if it is streaming, going over those hearings because this is to see if there's enough evidence against them to go to trial. But that's kind of, what cactus is that back there? Let's see. We've got the Christmas tree cactus. See, basically, I have a really nice shelving unit, but you can't see all of it. It's not a salt shaker. It was just a light up tree that they had at Hobby Lobby. And since it was not Christmas anymore, it was on sale. And so I bought all the sale things. And then I was shocked when it was like over $100. I had to go to Mr. Mo and I was like, so in my defense, it was all 80% off. In my other defense, I can't do math. And in my other defense, I had a really good time. So that is what is going to be going on today. We have got a lot of fun things planned for this year. Shizzy and I are working on the setup for the Sarah Boone Puppet Theater. We have got a book club that I'm going to be doing. We have got a lot of things. So this past year has been a bit treading water for me. So I'm glad to feel at least the mental energy to get new things started and running again. Hopefully my working out every day will get me back motivated, because I don't know about you guys, but during winter, I become a bit of a groundhog. I'm like in my own little place. I see my shadow. I don't want to go outside. I don't know. Maybe I was a groundhog in my past life. It's like, I'm an insidian. I don't want to do this. But thank you guys so much for sharing your morning with me. I do have you guys redirected to go over to my next stream starting at 10. I will be working back here, getting some video clips done, attempting to do other things, and then we will be back with a Petty Express. I do believe I do have a conductor outfit on my wish list, because Mr. Mo said no more costumes for a while, and I sort of agree with him. I need to work on organizing all of the stuff I already have. That's just a job for future Mo. Bye, you guys.